Hey, Justin, you want to watch a movie?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
What do you think about,
No, I saw it last week.
Oh, what about,
Not again.
Oh. How about this?
Wait. You want me to watch what?
So what did you think of Scrooge?
I mean, I really enjoyed his song, I Hate People, because that resonated with me on a deep, visceral level.
You know what? That's fair because that's half the reason I wanted you to watch it. Welcome to You Want Me to Watch What? This is the podcast of Justin and I who've seen easily 6 movies or more between the two of us.
This makes 7.
We just invite the other to watch something that they haven't seen before, and we'll sit and talk about it. And this time it is the 1970 critically panned musical of A Christmas Carol called Scrooge. Not to be confused with the Bill Murray movie, Scrooged.
Yeah.
So it is A Christmas Carol. I don't have much that needs probably to be said or spoiled about this. The miser Scrooge is visited by his 7 years dead partner, Jacob Marley, in this case played by Alec Guinness, and is warned that he's going to be visited by 3 spirits. He is, and over the course of those 3 spirits, he changes his ways and accepts Christmas, and will keep Christmas all year. This one, starring Albert Finney, who played Daddy Warbucks in like the original Annie.
Mm-hmm.
The one that has Tim Curry and Carol Burnett in it.
Yep.
Bernadette Peters. What a cast! I just realized what that cast was.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one in years.
For those who don't obla musicals, Albert Finney was also the guy who played the lawyer in Erin Brockovich. The one that she works for.
Yeah. He was also the dad in Big Fish, the older dad retelling his life. Yeah.
Yes. He is old man Ewan McGregor.
Old man Ewan McGregor, yes.
So I wanted you to watch this for 2 songs and about one other reason.
Okay.
The 2 songs were I Hate People, which it's really his only song.
It is, yes.
Because any other song that he does, it's a reprise, of when he sings along with, or he does the I like life, life likes me kind of thing. But I need to read out some of these lyrics because this is part of what made this, because we're deep into cultural Christmas time.
Yes.
And you and I very easily get fed up with that.
Yes.
Because we work with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be a people person until people ruined it. But here's the opening to I Hate People. Scavengers and sycophants and flatterers and fools, Pharisees and parasites and hypocrites and ghouls, calculating swindlers, prevaricating frauds, perpetrating evil as they roam the earth in hordes, feeding on their fellow men, reaping rich rewards, contaminating everything they see, corrupting honest men like me. Humbug, poppycock, balderdash, bah, I hate people.
At work, I've been recruited to write inspirational quotes on a whiteboard every week with a drawing to go with it. I think I found next week's.
Well, people are despicable creatures, loathsome, inexplicable creatures, good-for-nothing, kickable creatures.
Forgot about that one.
When I see the indolent classes sitting on their indolent asses, gulping ale from indolent glasses. I hate people. I detest them. I deplore them. It is, and if it's done in this just guttural, he's doing the Rex Harrison, sing, where he's not really singing. He's just talking in a gravelly voice.
Yeah.
And as he gets more impassioned, he just makes it louder.
Uh-huh.
But it's so damn funny because this whole time, he's walking around and he's collecting these debts.
Yeah.
Or he's extending their credit at a cost.
At a cost, yes.
Never mind, it's Christmas Eve.
No.
To heck with all that. So that's reason number one.
It's a good reason.
Reason number two is what I still consider to be the darkest song in a movie musical. And that's including just about everything that happened in Sweeney Todd, right? Or the second half of Into the Woods. It is the song Thank You Very Much.
Oh my God, yes.
In which it's during the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, and Scrooge is brought back to his counting house and people are leaving, and it sounds like they're giving a toast. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all the people who have assembled here, I would merely like to mention, if I may, that our unanimous attitude is one of lasting gratitude for what our friend has done for us today, and therefore I would simply like to say, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. And while Scrooge is just over the moon at this toast that he is being given, and he's looking around at all the people who can't see him, behind the primary singer, they're pulling out a coffin.
Yeah.
Casket. Coffin. They're carrying out the coffin. And what follows is a parade of sorts in which Scrooge is happily dancing and singing along, following his own coffin down the street.
Because he can't see it. It's so lost in the crowd.
While the guy who's offering it is dancing on top of it.
Uh-huh.
And it is just this, and it's like, it is so funny to me. And it's so dark. And funnily enough, they did a remake of this animated that I think is on Netflix.
Okay.
And they kept that song in this way. And it's glorious. So, and you've seen Christmas carols before.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. So, a couple of things to kind of pull out, right, of this, because it's just kind of it's this weirdo 1970s thing, right? And the third thing was, what did you think of Hell?
I did take particular note of that scene because, okay, so in the movie, we get through all the Ghost of Christmas Future stuff. He falls into the grave, spinning, begging, pleading, begging to change, whatever. And that's typically when he wakes up in his room. Uh-huh. Instead, this time, he wakes up in a coffin-shaped hole in the ground, almost like a regeneration chamber in a sci-fi movie. Uh-huh. Sits up, and he's in hell, and he's greeted by Marley and taken to his office because Lucifer has decided, you were a crappy human, but you were good at what you did, so now you're going to be my personal assistant. You're basically going to be my Bob Cratchit. Mm. And I love the juxtaposition because the office is freezing cold. And, you can... It's this, powder blue, meant to represent cold, and you can still see out the door into hell where it's red and orange and whatever. It's that's a nice color change right there.
I really appreciated the use of color throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah.
The way they went from some of the grays and dingy, especially when he wakes up at 2:00 for the Ghost of Christmas Present, mm-hmm. and goes from that into the room with Kenneth More as the Ghost of Christmas Present and the mountain of food and drink, and the way the color kind of changes, the way they made his little apartment room look like, Miss Havisham's,
mm-hmm.
Wedding banquet. It just looked rotten.
Yes.
So that was the other thing, is because it's it's so rare that we get the hell scene.
Yeah.
It's not in the book. It's in the book, he falls and he wakes up.
Yeah.
But again, 1970. So you've seen enough slasher movies
mm-hmm.
to recognize the slasher movie genre film style in this.
Mm-hmm.
Think when Marley is flying him through the air and you have the grotesques, the ghosts and spirits flying through the air. and it looks at first very very cartoony, and then all of a sudden, like, you get right into it, and it's just these makeup effects, the melty face makeup effects that go straight to the camera.
Yeah.
and
Same when the Ghost of Christmas Future shows his face, and he's very... Yeah.
And it's so very cool to see that kind of happen. So, fun fact, this was the first film to be released in the widescreen 70 millimeter format for holiday season. They wanted to make the film as visually striking as they could. And so 1970, this was the first Christmas movie that they didn't say, this is going to be on TV later. Maybe we should make it so it fits on TVs. They said, this is a big screen production.
Yeah.
And they made it look like that. Again, did very badly with critics. Very badly with critics. And the middle of it is kind of draggy.
Uh-huh.
There's parts of that where you watch it, and some of it is just the nature of 1970s musicals, because musicals were in this weird spot then. We were leaving the optimism of the 1950s, Rodgers and Hammerstein,
Mm-hmm.
but we weren't fully into the 1970s and 80s, darker, and darker themed musicals that would kind of take over. And so here you have what is this Christmas ghost story that is still supposed to be uplifting and light, and not really quite buying into it. Vietnam is going on. There's all these bits and pieces that just kind of give it this, I don't want to say a pessimistic vibe, but it is oppressive for the way it does.
Yeah.
Other things to bring out is the music by Leslie Bricusse, and I'm pretty sure that he was the one who did the Dr. Dolittle musical with Rex Harrison and so forth.
Okay. Two vastly different movies.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, because I also think he also did the music for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
And Victor Victoria. I don't know if you've seen Victor Victoria.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Okay. We've seen that. Okay. It's hard to keep track. We've done a few of these, at least 6.
I don't remember if it was for this or if you were going to review it and I was just there, but I've seen Victor Victoria.
So, but yeah, the movies that Leslie Bricusse was, Rex Harris's Dr. Dolittle, Scrooge, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And it's like, if you had told me, oh yeah, he's the one who wrote, Good Night Charlie, been like, yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But to also be the one who penned, Pure Imagination, dang it.
Yeah.
I guess talent recognizes talent.
Yeah.
So, but this is one of those, I don't watch this necessarily every Christmas season. I mean, it's no Star Wars holiday special.
That is a very true statement.
But it is on my list of Christmas Carol movies that I do watch, because almost every year I watch Mickey's Christmas Carol. Almost every year I would watch Muppet Christmas Carol. And then there's a rotation of, George C. Scott or Albert Finney, or I think now I've forgotten his name, but it's like 1939, one of the first, versions of it. Even Patrick Stewart or Kelsey Grammer did one as well. I love the story. It's one of my favorite Christmas stories. And so it's a see it from me, but recognize when you're going into it that it is 54 years old.
Yeah.
And not all of it ages the way you wished it would, but there's also nothing that's outright offensive about it. It's just, it's 1970s.
Yeah, there's nothing problematic about it. It just didn't age well.
Mm-hmm.
And to be quite honest, it really wasn't that good.
The critics agreed with you.
Now, I will. So when I first fired it up, I thought, okay, the use of the Tim Burton-esque font in the opening credits is an interesting choice, but I liked it. It's very angular and kind of macabre, which is not what you think for a Christmas movie, even one with
Not
ghosts.
usually. Yeah.
So I'm like,
usually.
okay, that's an interesting take. Not a bad one. I like that style. Okay, cool. And then it had a hard time grabbing my attention. The parts that you wanted me to see, I absolutely latched onto and made note. I'm like, oh, that's good. I like that. I like that. And looking back on it, Albert Finney's portrayal of Scrooge, I almost forgot who he really was as an actor, because I'm like, he did a really good job of portraying this very curmudgeonly, kind of hunched over old man, even though at the time he probably wasn't, quote, old. At least not by today's standards.
I don't actually know. I can find out, though.
Because I would say he's probably in his
34.
I was going to say he's at least, I mean, at bare in his 40s in that movie, because he looks much older in Aaron Brockovich and Big Fish in the late 90s, early 2000s kind of thing. So I'm just like, okay. So, I mean, he did a good job of portraying a grumpy old man. Yeah, I'll give him that. Absolutely. But not much else kind of grabbed my attention about it. I mean...
Well, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't always see eye to eye with movies.
That's true. I'm going to say this is a laundry movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a Christmas Carol. You're not going to miss the plot because everybody knows it. Just make sure you catch the I hate people, thank you very much, and the hell scene, because those are the three bits that you're going to be like, that's new. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if it's on and you're doing chores, sure. But I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to watch it again. I may look up those two songs on YouTube from time to time.
I would say check out the animated version,
And I will absolutely do that.
Because I'm pretty sure for that one they cut down the time by about a half hour, because this is a nearly 2-hour musical.
Is.
It was a stage musical that they just put on film. Which there's always mixed results.
Yeah.
When you take a stage thing and move it to film, there's choices that have to be made. Some of them were good and some of them were not.
Yeah.
But
so did Albert Finney play Scrooge on stage, or was he just cast for the movie?
He was cast for the movie. He didn't actually want to take on the role of Scrooge because he was known for playing these dark, serious characters.
Then why did he?
Because he was persuaded by the musical aspects of it.
Okay, fair.
Because he wanted to showcase his versatility as an actor and a singer.
Okay.
Because that was something that would have kept him going, and then it turned out this was one of the movies that he's best known for until Aaron Brockovich came about.
Yeah.
Because no one recognized him as Daddy Warbucks. He shaved his...
He shaved his...
Well, it is a see it from me, but it doesn't have to be a see it all the time from me. Like I said, this is just one of several versions of Christmas Carol that enters into my rotation.
Yeah.
So
I will say, towards the end, when they were doing the big finale musical number, and he's dressed as Father Christmas and whatever, for a second, I thought he was going to have a heart attack and die. Just from the look on, I'm like, oh, where are we going with this? Is he going to die? Like, what? Like, did he undo a life's worth of chain building in an afternoon? Sure hope so.
Because, yeah, there's that part there toward the end of the song where he's getting ready to go home, and it just,
yeah, he had
a little bit too much of that milk of human kindness.
Yeah, he's staggering a little bit. He kind of looks like he's like worried. I'm like, where is this going? And then he's staggering home, and then he talks to the door, and then he's like, oh, okay.
I do really like the last line of it, though.
Okay, yeah, that last scene, rather than ending in the Cratchit's house with God bless us everyone, he goes home and he tells the door where he first saw Marley, love to stay and chat, but
I'm going to go have dinner with my family.
Yeah.
It is a surprising ending for a movie that has become so stereotyped, so commonplace that we expect a certain line to end. And this one
okay, so 4 things I enjoyed about this.
Yes! Almost as many movies as we've seen together.
I know.
Well, that'll be it for us today, and your turn to pick for next time.
Oh, I got something.
All right.